Hello everybody and welcome back. The party are in this boat that has just been ambushed. There are 7 dead people on this riverbank. We have tied up 7 captives on the boat, and we have 2 dead crew members of our own. There's this chain strung across the river, so the first thing is that this chain needs to be removed. So Captain Kalanos and our party each take an end and pull up the stakes which are holding this chain into place. We let the chain fall to the bed of the river. It's too heavy to do anything with. And then we go and examine these bodies here. There isn't much on them in terms of treasure, but we're told if they search the bodies, they will find the characteristic marks of the iron ring, brands and manacle scars. See PS4. Okay, this is from the player's handout, the inner pull-out sheets. The Iron Ring is an evil secret organisation. Its roots are in the Black Eagle Barony. We know this because we did the Eye of Traldar. The members of the Iron Ring can be of any profession or race, and they recognise each other by means of codes and passwords unknown to those outside of the ring. Every member shares the same mark, however, a brand on the left forearm in the form of 2 manacles linked by a chain. Right, now we did not see this in the Eye of Traldar, simply because this feature didn't exist in that module. I'm going to have to retcon it, but we do recognise this. And after we find this mark on the left arm, we all look at each other and go, no, not the Iron Ring. Yep, sure enough it is. Well, we take arrows and other such things, strip these people of anything useful, and we don't turf them into the river. That would pollute the river. However, when we come back to the boat, half the party were on this side, half the party were on that side, with Captain Kalanos. When we come back to the boat, instead of having 7 members of the Iron Ring tied up, we only have 5. These crew members exacted retribution, an eye for an eye. So, for their 2 dead crew members, 2 members of the Iron Ring are now, well, with their hands tied overboard, and maybe there is a little puddle of blood in the water being dispersed. That is rough justice. Kelvin is described as a logging town, so these people, they have to make their own frontier law. By late afternoon, the boat reaches the jetty at Misha's Ferry. As the crew help you off with your baggage, Kalanos calls out to Misha, but has no reply. Don't worry, he says, Misha often goes off hunting that flea-bitten old bear of hers. She'll be back before night and won't mind you making yourselves at home. Good luck. Kalanos gives the order, cast off, and the boat pulls away from the jetty and continues upriver. This is the player's map. So this is Misha's Ferry, just east upriver from Kelvin, halfway to Sukiskyn. And we find a rather large, well-made log cabin, which we assume belongs to Misha. Kalanos did say we would be welcome to stay indoors. We have 5 members of the Iron Ring with us. Captain Kalanos did not want them on his boat. They are murderers, and crew members certainly don't want them there. They're not going back to Kelvin, we're told. They're going upstream, so presumably they're going on, and they don't want to take these people with them. So we have got 5 members of the Iron Ring tied up, looking surly and grumpy. And we also don't want to bring them into Misha's home. So there's a kind of porch with a cover, and we tie them to the posts of the porch, and we'll work out what to do with them tomorrow morning. We'll spend the evening sitting in chairs, staring at the fire in Misha's living room. I'll read on. The door of the cabin is unlocked. Inside nothing seems to be disturbed. Shortly after the party arrives, the bear returns. Wounded and angry, it charges towards anyone it sees and attacks them. Right, well, we're inside with the door closed, and we hear the roar of a bear. We hear the scream of some men. Well, we get up, open the door, and look out the window. And sure enough, what we see is 5 men being utterly eviscerated and decapitated by a very angry bear. And, oh well, there goes our captives. Misha, I think, will return either late at night or tomorrow morning. but we'll continue the adventure on night Dane the 8th of Tharmont. And what is the weather on that day? It's 0022, clear skies, dry weather, warm and a strong wind. Right, well let's see where the next day takes us. Right, here we are at Misha's Ferry, and we've just witnessed a bear tear apart 5 members of the Iron Ring. We are rather naively tied up and left outside on the grounds that we will deal with them tomorrow morning. That didn't happen. Misha herself comes back right in the middle of the night, sees the carnage, the decapitated heads, the removed limbs, the eviscerated entrails, and she pokes things over with her walking staff and see the tattoos of the Iron Ring, those manacles and chains. So when she enters into her own home, she says rather sardonically, "Friends of yours?" While we tell her all about the raid on the way from Kelvin. She just tuts and shakes her head and says such things are becoming more common these days. She shows us upstairs to a couple of spare rooms with some basic but comfortable beds. Before we go to sleep, we use the Staff of Healing and the 2 healing spells on everybody. We thank Misha for her hospitality and go to sleep and wake up the next day on the 8th of Tharmont. Misha can direct us to Sukiskyn. She knows the area well. She tells us it will take about 18 hours to get there. If we set off early after we've eaten, then we should get there for sunset. And, well, that timing sounds good. So that is what we do. We spend the day walking along a reasonably well-defined path through trees. And as we approach Sukiskyn, what do we see? It's past sunset. A twilight hush has settled over the forest. There is no movement amongst the shadowy trees on either side of the trail. The world seems at peace, perhaps a little too quiet. Then the silence is broken. A faint cry drifts on the evening breeze, which also brings a whiff of wood smoke. Ahead you catch a glimpse of flames rising beyond the trees. The sounds grow louder, shouts of men mingle with harsh guttural war cries and the clash of battle. While all the time, flames grow higher, bathing the forest in a pink glow. I have to say, even the quality of these little prose narrations is good. Right, well, the party are immediately alerted to something that goes wrong. Fight is going on, so we hurry towards Sukiskyn. And what do we see? Right. Apparently this map, in its original form, was I think twice this size. I'm just going from what I've seen online. And we run through the forest and we see a small wooden bridge over this river, and we see a barn in the corner, and this barn has been set on fire. Let's read on. The forest ends on a bank of the fast-flowing river spanned by a wooden bridge which leads to the gate of the palisaded homestead. The buildings are almost intact but are lit by flames leaping from a barn to the left side of the bridge. In a clearing on the far side of the burning barn, you can see the attackers, goblins or possibly orcs. And from your right, beyond the main part of the homestead, comes the cries of frightened horses. Things aren't going to go too well for us. So what are we looking at here? We might have to use this small map. This area here is replicated here. We can see the river, the bridge, the path we have come along, the burning barn. This is a palisade. It's nicely drawn with lots of little circles to represent wooden posts. We approach here and all of a sudden, from the clearing come 8 goblins. And we're told these are called wolf skull goblins. That's their name of their tribe, the Clos Lunk. So let the fight begin. Now they can surprise us on a roll of 1 to 4. And we can surprise them on a roll of 1 to 2. And they get their surprise. So that is 8 of them on our 4 frontliners. Right, so let's do 2 on Carrick. That's a miss. And that is also a miss. Their Thacker was 19. And let's do 2 on Stonard. Those are both misses, rather bad. Let's do 2 on Sylvia. Right. That hits AC3. That indeed does hit Sylvia for 6 points. And let's do 2 on Liz, who has, for the past couple of days, spent life as a pincushion. Right. And that's 5 points off her. And that's another 2 points off her. She's down to 12. Okay, that's their surprise round. Let's roll for initiative. We get initiative. Good. Let's assume that everybody had their weapons at the ready to run across the bridge. I would say it's likely that Liz had her bow ready, so her turn is to swap her weapon. Sylvia's turn is to, with a short sword +2. Miss. I'm doing this out of sequence by mistake. Let's roll for a sleep spell. Malyn's sister has been hit twice. And 4 of them fall asleep. So there's now 1 on each. Sylvia missed her one. Donard is going to have a go at the one on him. That's a hit and a kill. Carrick is going to have a go on him. This is 1d12 dice. Yes, and oh my god, that goblin is decapitated. And that's our go. Let's roll for them. So there are 2 left. There's 1 on Sylvia and 1 on Liz. And the 1 on Sylvia misses. And the 1 on Liz hits for another 1 point of damage. So it's round number 2. Well, it's round number 3. The first round was surprise. And it's mutual. I'll do them again. That's the 1 on Sylvia, misses. And the 1 on Liz hits again. Right, our go. Liz took her turn taking out her sword. She has done that. Spells. Donor is going to rush in with that staff of healing. Whack Liz over the head with it. And does 6 points of healing. She's from 9 to 15. That's commendable. So it's his go. Melee will do Liz on the goblin that's on her. She hits and kills it. Sylvia on the one that's on her. She hits. They only have an AC of 6. And with her short sword +2, does the extra 2 needed to kill it. That is the 8 goblins dead. We think we're going to get a bit of a breather. In fact, we do need to take a breather. In the next round, what we're going to do is use the Staff of Healing on Sylvia. And she is back up to 11. Well, what happens next to us? We've been ambushed. As soon as that fight finishes, along the riverbank here, there are 8 more goblins riding direwolves. So they're coming up the riverbank. We're here on the bridge. A voice tells us to run, and that is what we do. "Look out," cries a man's voice from the gatehouse across the bridge. and through the smoke you see a squad of goblins mounted on huge wolves charging wildly along the riverbank towards you. Before they can cut you off, the voice continues, "Quick," and the gate starts to swing open. There's not a moment to lose. Right, okay, and we're going to hurry through this gateway and, well, what do we find on the other side? Just a quick note about admin. This is irrelevant to the adventure. I used to make my notes on this, and you can see the line spacing is incredibly wide. So when it actually came to making notes, nothing lined up. It might as well have been a blank piece of paper, and the lines are inconsequential. And so it was quite easy to lose track of what marks belonged to what person. I've since got this, which is much smaller, and therefore it's much easier to keep things tidy and in place. For those who watch and being a DM themselves, are you extremely tidy? Or are you somebody who writes on the back of envelopes? I've got a feeling that there will be a correlation between those people who like being a DM and those people who are conspicuously organised. That was my way of building suspense by delaying the action. Okay, so the party make it through the gatehouse. We run across the bridge, and in the gatehouse here is a young woman holding the ropes to lower the portcullis. As you hurry through the gateway into the smoke-filled yard beyond, spears, hurled by the mounted goblins, thud into the timbers behind you. To your surprise, the gate is held open by a young woman who quickly shuts and bars it once you're all through. I suppose the surprise is because we're told it's a man's voice who cries, "Look out." For a moment you are safe, but the flames from the nearby barn are already spreading to the wooden tower above the gate. Burning barn, and yep, probably this palisade is being breached. And beyond the barn, a group of scarlet-clad goblins has broken through the palisade and is rushing towards you. Okay, must be from here then. Some fall to the missiles fired from the main building, but the rest press on regardless. Unmoved, the woman waits until a man wearing a leather armour makes his way down the ladder from the smoke-filled tower. Then the couple make a dash for the main buildings, calling on you to follow. So we're here. This man and this young woman are running towards here. There's some red-clad goblins running here. We're told they attack us. We meet about here. Let's read on. The woman is Delphana and the man is Taris. We don't know that yet. There are 5 red blade Gnashaka, which is their tribal name, goblins heading for the party from the breach in the palisade. 3 others have already been killed, and 3 of the survivors are wounded, 2 hit points each. They normally have 4. They ignore Alfana and concentrate their attacks on characters wearing metal armour. That's a kind of clue to make sure your mages and your thieves live. We have 2 options. I think we could just run inside, try and bar the door, and leave these goblins to maybe set fire to the building. Not really an option. Or we can stop and fight. And we have 3 metal-clad fighters. We have Sylvia with her chainmail +1, Donard with plate mail +1, and Carrick with his plate mail. Let's roll for initiative. We get initiative. There are 5 goblins, and let's hope we can take them all down in one go. Donard. Yeah, they have AC 6, and he hits AC 7. Regrettable. Sylvia with the short sword +2 hits and kills a red blade goblin. Carrick hits and, yep, kills another one. He just doesn't kill goblins, he completely destroys them. That was a 9. Right, that is our go. It's round 1. Liz, will she be able to shoot at 1 this round? No, she and Malin have run to the door. It's their turn. 2 are dead. 1 on Donard. Misses. 1 on Sylvia. Hits. She is down to 8 HP again. And the 1 on Carrick. Misses. Round 2. And we get initiative again. Good. Let's do missiles first. I think Liz would have been able to turn around at the door and try and shoot one. Yep. And she shoots it straight through the eye, and it falls with not too quick to scream. Donard misses again. Not his day. Sylvia misses. And Carrick, Goblin Cleaver, hits again and completely decapitates that one. There's one left. It's on Carrick and it misses. Round 3. We get initiative again. Let's see if Liz can shoot another time. Yep, dead eye Liz, and kills another goblin. That arrow goes into its open screaming mouth and through the back of its neck. There we go, 5 red blade goblins dead. We rush in to this room here, slam the door behind us, and everybody has to catch a breath, and we have made it into the palisade. It's burning on the outside. More goblins are going to show up. Let's see if next time, if we can hold this palisade and stop it being overrun by goblins. So I'll see you all then.